Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good afternoon. Good morning and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope this show finds you in great spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. Another day above the dirt is always a blessing. It is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. Okay. So, how y'all doing? How y'all living? Huh? You guys doing okay? Y'all doing okay? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? I don't know about you, but I feel good right now. Sort of. I'll explain a little bit in a little while. All that. We'll talk about that and then some. So you guys saw the short. Somebody said, Pascal, drop your pho recipe. Maybe I will one day. Slowly perfecting it. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But anyway, we got to get into some things. So please do me a favor. Before we get into everything, hit that like button down below. Crush it, do it, do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, please make sure you hit that follow button. Follow. I don't know what else to say. Follow mine. Okay, mine. Follow. Hit that subscribe button right here on YouTube. Subscribe. Okay? Hit that notification bell. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because honestly, it is random. Okay? Please and thank you. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. That's in the ticker right there going across the screen right now as we speak. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. Go check it out. PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys. We have got to get into this thing. We got some things we have got to talk about. And something big just happened a few hours ago. Sorry, I wasn't able to get to you guys. I have things to do. I have a life. I have a life outside this room. I have a life. Yeah, I have a life outside of this room that I try to have with the people that I love from time to time. Do you know what I'm saying? So sometimes the news be popping and I can't be in the room. Sometimes I got to just do it in the middle of a damn grocery store while I'm looking for items for my world famous pho. You see what I'm saying? So, sometimes you just gonna I could be at the gym in the middle of a sweat and I'll be like, breaking news. Sometimes I'm at the museum chilling, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that be paintings. I'm like, breaking news. It just depends on where I'm at. So I haven't been able to be in this room to give you guys this information. So this is a very, very big deal. All right. First and foremost, this isn't going to be a super long show. Let me just say that now. I know. I'm very famous to say, oh yeah, it's not going to be a big show. And it ends up being a big show. It's not going to be a big show today. All right. I got other things I got to do. I still got things to do today. I'm going to try to come on a little bit later on this after this evening, depending. But I could not do this live with you guys and talk about this right here. Yeah. So Pam Bondi has been fired. Yeah. Fired. Terminated. Fired. I don't know other terms for fired. Okay. Let go. Fired. I don't know. Somebody pull out the thesaurus. Okay. Other words for fired. She gone. Yeah, indeed. Like the thumbnail. She gone, baby. She gone. Here's the thing, though. Hold on. No, I can't. I can't not. She's gone. She is no more. She's gone from that position. Okay, hold on. She's gone from that position, but it doesn't seem like she's gone from the Trump administration, from the team. Kind of like what they did with Pam Bondi. Why is it all the females, man? Why are all the females doing bad things? Why are they doing all the dirty? Think about that for a second. Why is it the ladies, man? They're doing more dirty than the men right now. What the fuck? Think about that for a second. Put that bee in your bonnet for a hot minute. It's all the ladies. The ladies are more diabolical than the men. What happened? What happened? Ain't that wild? Now, ladies, don't get mad. Be like, no. I'm just surprised that it's the females that are doing more dirty than the mans. That's wild. Don't you find that a little wild? You got Kristi Noem, okay, not only stealing a whole bunch of money, a lot of money, $200 million plus money, right? She got caught with her hand in some other man's cookie jar, not even in her cross-dressing husband's cookie jar, another person's cookie jar. She had an F plane, and when I mean F plane, a plane, get it? A private jet so that she and her boo thing could do the sideways samba, bumping uglies, maybe making love like gorillas on a pile of money that she stole from American taxpayer, hardworking American taxpayers. Yeah. Maybe that's what, in this private jet that she had, while she's bumping uglies with a whole other man that doesn't have the same name as her husband's name. Which that was a sad attempt at trying to make a joke, meaning that it's not the same, that's not her man, it's not her husband, right? She's out there stepping outside of the marriage on planes while her husband is at home messaging S-workers online with cockeyed titties. Oh. Oh. And then now you got Pam Bondi, who been lying like a mother lover. You know, this is the reason why there is no footage from this time to this time of Jeffrey Epstein is because, right, Trump, is because the security cameras are very, very old. And at around 11:59 p.m., when it turns to midnight, it shuts off. There is no camera footage during that time. But we'll make sure that we give you all the footage when we get it. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? There was that story that she gave us was never true. That's how we were introduced to Miss Pam Bondi. It was the worst introduction to the newest character of a TV show, which is called the Trump administration. No, it's not called West Wing. Don't do West Wing like that. Don't you dare do West Wing like that. Aaron Sorkin and all that. Don't you dare. Okay? That show was phenomenal. Don't you dare do that. Literally, I'm hold on. I'm literally looking at this as I'm making the thumbnail. I got to show this to you guys. Okay? Listen. Real quick. Sorry for the sidestep, all right? But this is all important. It's all about Trump. So, here's the thing. Let me explain something here. All right? And let me just blow this up so you guys can see a little bit more, just a little bit, just in case you know he's in the middle of a dance. Okay? No, he's not waiting for somebody to get on a ladder and put his ding-a-ling in one hand and then one down below. He's like, I want to do it in different. I want to do it in different elevations, one high, one low. No, it's not that. He's dancing, just so you know. Okay. No, he's not having a stroke. He's dancing. Now, let me just say this. As I'm thinking about, when I'm getting this show started, and now that I'm thinking about West Wing, what show would be his show? It wouldn't be West Wing. You know what I'm saying? Like, who would write his show? If they were to, it would be Veep. Except take the Dreyfus girl out of the show and put him in it. You see what I'm saying? It would not be some patriotic. It'd be a farcical. It'd be like a farcical show. Would it not? Like, we need like a Leslie Nielsen. You know what I mean? May he rest in peace. But we need like a Leslie Nielsen to come back and play his part. And it's kind of like Hot Shots Part 2 or Hot Shots in general, but it's political. Ain't nobody ever seen. No, it wouldn't be Scandal. Don't do Scandal like that. Don't you dare. Don't you dare now. Don't you dare do Olivia Pope like that now. Come on now. Come on now. With her crying face. No, that show would not. No. Ish Creek. No, not that show. Like I said, what political show would it be? Because I feel like like we're living in a parody. Is anybody else feeling like we're living in some sort of parody? Just a little bit? Soul Plane? Yeah, I mean, it would be like all of the Wayans Brothers movies, Like if they did a spoof on every political drama they can think of, every political action movie, etc., right? Clear and Present Danger to Air Force One to whatever, right? They just do one big spoof on it. Yeah, I feel like we're living that in real life. Because, we're seeing him doing the shake wake dance, and that's real. This is real. This is real. And don't get me wrong, he's allowed to cut a rug. He's allowed to enjoy his life and be himself. Be your true, authentic self. But at the same time, you realize how everything that we've been seeing so far, then you add that on top of it. It's just comical. He was dancing with a sword the other day. And Melania's like, you know what I mean? He's just dancing there with the sword in his hand, just woo! And she's just egging him on. You know what I mean? She's just, it's weird. No one sees that as weird? Okay. I'm sorry I had to sidestep for a second. We're going to go back to this. Yeah! Yeah! Fire! She gone, baby. She gone. Terminated. Sent up. No, that means she's dead. No, she gone. She fired. She done. And we should all be thankful for it. But here's the thing. Just because she is the face and the mouth doing the lies doesn't mean that those words were actually coming out of her mouth. Think about that for a second. Just let that simmer, okay? Let that soak all the way down to your plums for 1 minute. As much as I don't like the woman. I don't like her. In fact, I didn't like her testimony when you had all kinds of members of Congress asking her all kinds of different questions. And every time they asked her something that had a zinger to it, she would respond in such a bullying, condescending way. I don't like her. I said, I don't like her one bit. But here's the question. Is she the one who was sitting there going, yeah, I'm just going to lie to the American people all by myself? Or was someone else up above pulling the strings like a marionette player? Think about that for a second. Oh, I'm happy she's gone, because her face and her mouth and those gums were still yapping, was still moving and forming those words out of her mouth. But you know for a fact that information that she got and the choices that she made to go on camera and lie to the American people was not just done by herself. Again, let me just repeat this. I don't like her. I'm not trying to defend that witch. Bye-bye. Go. Like I said in my short, don't let the door hit you where the Lord split you. Enjoy retirement or whatever the hell you're going to do. In fact, we understand that she's not terminated indefinitely. She's just being moved to a whole other department. It's like all of them that go and do bad, they're going into some sort of political purgatory. We're going to talk about that in a second. It's like, wait a second. So it's just going to be her and Kristi Noem chilling in a old, dark, dingy office on the other side of the White House? Like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Imagine that conversation now between Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem if they were in the same room together. You know what I mean? What, Pam? Did he actually blow up the balloons by himself, or did he go down the street to Party City and get the balloons blown up for him, and then he stuck them under his shirt? Shut up, Pam! I blew them up for him. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that conversation. If you really think about it, he must be really good at balloon animals now. Brian Noem. No? Is that a boo? Oh, okay. I mean, he must be pretty. I mean, you know, he's got to know like how much air and how much they can take. You got to manipulate the balloons to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? You don't think every once in a while he's just sitting there by himself, just a goose. You know what I'm saying? No? Okay. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But nonetheless, very interesting. She has been fired. Let's take a look at this. Donald Trump has fired Pam Bondi as his attorney general after she desperately pleaded for her job in a late night White House showdown. So she becomes the second cabinet casualty, in less than a month. All right. Brought down by months of MAGA fury over her botched handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files, a saga that has dogged Trump's Justice Department since day one. And you got to remember, maybe this is the reason why she's not totally fired. She's just being demoted from her job. Maybe because he wants to keep her close, because you know for a fact he has probably turned to her and said, I need you to lie. I need you to stretch the truth to the American people. I need you to say that these files that they say exist don't exist. I need you to say that this supposed list of names does not exist. When we found out, oh, it most definitely does. And they also cut off half of the files from the American people. We've seen half. We haven't seen the other half. Let's not forget that too. Somebody went to her and said, I need you to lie. period. This started somewhere. I don't think she just woke up one day and said, I'm just going to lie today. No, Trump knew what was going on. The powers that be, all the other people that work in his cabinet, all knew this crap too. And were giving her the thumbs up to lie. So Trump praised Bondi as a great American patriot and loyal friend. Clearly, she's a loyal friend, but she's not an American patriot. I will never call that woman an American patriot. You got another thing coming. When you're lying to the American people, when your job is to bring justice for all of those victims, and the first thing you do is lie to the American people, this is not a great American patriot act, if that makes any sense. Sorry, it's not. But he said this on Truth Social, okay? Hailing the tremendous job she did in bringing down the murder rate. He says, we love Pam, and she will be transitioning to be much needed and important, to a much needed and important new job in the private sector to be announced at a date in the near future. This is what Trump wrote. So Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche will serve as acting attorney general until a permanent nominee is picked. Bondi is out of the administration and is expected to transition into the private sector. So he informed the AG last night, shortly before his Iran speech, that she would soon be leaving the DOJ, according to a senior administration source. So she's 60. Damn, she's 60. Okay. Damn. Anyway, pleaded with the president to keep her job. She said, please. She was groveling. She begged him to give her one more time. Yeah. Baby, give me one more chance. You know what I'm saying? She literally was saying that. Trumpy, please. This is apparently what a senior administration source told the Daily Mail. She was unhappy and tried to change his mind. But he wasn't having it. Yeah. She was really trying. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Tiggo bitties. Just this will never die. This story right here of Brian Noam, damn. That will Tiggo bitties never die. It will never die. So Bondi remained at the White House during Trump's speech before flying to her home in Florida. Of course, she lived in Florida. On Thursday, Trump's reasoning for the sudden dismissal comes in part because the president believes Bondi tipped off Eric Swalwell about the FBI's efforts to release investigative documents related to his relationship with an alleged Chinese spy. Ooh. So the FBI was preparing a cache of documents on Swalwell's relationship with Christine Fang. She's intervening in those matters. The White House wasn't pleased she was intervening due to her personal relationship with Swalwell. It is unclear why Bondi would have intervened, but it is believed that Bondi and Swalwell have a friendly relationship. Swalwell, a fellow lawyer, has openly criticized her since she took the AG position after failing to prosecute multiple death threats against him and his family. Yeah, that's interesting, right? Plenty. When it comes to like other political pundits and other names out there, they throw all kinds of charges to those people. But any person that may be for or maybe against Trump or something of that sort, they pay him no mind. They pay him no mind, right? Swalwell was one of the leading candidates for the California gubernatorial race as a Democrat. And he doesn't, that Trump doesn't like demis, okay? So Bondi traveled with Trump on Wednesday to the Supreme Court to watch proceedings for the birthright citizenship case and attended his primetime speech about the war in Iran. So yeah, guys. So again, she was giving out information that Trump was not happy that she was giving out that information to a specific person, Eric Swalwell. She was not okay. He was not okay with that. And therefore, she got axed for that. Here's what I find interesting. She got axed for that, but she didn't get axed for how she was handling the Epstein files, how she committed perjury. She committed perjury, guys. Multiple of times that she was asked questions under oath that she denied or lied, straight up lied about under oath. She committed perjury multiple times. And that isn't the reason why she got fired? Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Quiet storm. You're killing me. Pascal jumped to the Bondi story, and I'm still getting over the helium tank in Noam's bedroom. Yeah, you're welcome. You know, we're here for the laughs too. There's so much that I feel like we all have strokes by now. You know, with all this craziness that's been going on. All right, we got to throw some laughter in here because my Lord, it is just dumb how bad it is right now. But I digress. I had do I have it up here? Where the heck is it? Nope, I do not. Let me just pull it up again. Boom.
Follow breaking news as Fox News is reporting that Attorney General Pam Bondi is out, and a new development coming up in just the past few moments right here. This is some new information as Fox News is reporting that Todd Blanche is set to become the interim Attorney General. So if you're just joining us at this hour, you can see a graphic with three individuals: Attorney General Pam Bondi, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, and EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. The reason why all three of those are on the screen is that President Trump reportedly has fired Attorney General Pam Bondi. That is according to two sources familiar with the matter who spoke with Fox News Digital. And President Trump is reportedly considering replacing Bondi with Environmental Protection Agency Director Lee Zeldin. That is according to sources familiar with that matter. Todd Blanche, who is currently the Deputy Attorney General, is set to become the interim Attorney General. That is according to Fox News. So
I'm just wondering, how does someone have four front teeth? I've never seen that before. Not two, but four. Sorry, Todd Blanche, it's just throwing me off. Sorry. But here's the thing. Let me just say this. And I already said it earlier. It doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. Like, politically, it doesn't matter that Pam Bondi has lost her job. Yes, it's one evil person gone. It's one terrible individual out of a job. Great. I'm very happy about it. I don't like how she lied. She's a liar. She shouldn't have had the job in the first place. But here's the thing. All of them are liars. This is what we're all starting to figure out now. Some of y'all have already known that they be liars. And a lot of others are suddenly finally coming home, right? And they're going, oh my gosh. Oh my Lord. They've been lying, right? So here's the thing. This is not going to change anything. Yes, we can, we could dance in the streets, okay? We could celebrate all day long. But what's interesting is that the lies will still continue. I don't know who this Lee Zeldin is. I don't know. He could be a third cousin from Zelda. I don't know who this mother lover is, okay? But you really think that Trump is going to give somebody the job that is trustworthy and willing to stand on the side of the people? I doubt it. We already know what kind of Trump we're dealing with. We already know what kind of Trump we're dealing with. Let's be real. We don't. Here it is. I get it. Somebody said, "Are you kidding me? You don't even know who he is. You don't even follow politics." Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. I really don't. I really don't. All I can say is we can sit back and wait and see what he does. But like I said, are you really thinking that he's going to give it to a person that's going to be there for the people? That's going to be there for justice? Or did we get another Pam Bondi? Potentially, this Lee Zeldin guy. Sorry. I will always side-eye when it comes to the stuff that's been going on as of late. And I expect everyone to do the same. Or, I wouldn't be surprised if you wonderful viewers, fam, are thinking the same. Like I said, he doesn't want somebody in there that's thinking for themselves. He wants somebody who's going to straight up kiss his ass and say, "Yes, sir. A step and fetch it." That's it. That's it. And that's exactly what Pam Bondi was too. So we'll see how she does, or how this guy does, if he is really going to be the next guy. But I'm telling you right now, even Pam Bondi, like Ride just said, Lee is a very big Trumper and a smooth talker, which is not great. That's not good. But here's the thing, though. I feel like Pam Bondi was pretty decent in the very beginning with her lies, but then the lies started to catch up. You see what I'm saying? Things started to backfire. This guy right here, Lee, this dude right here, he may be a smooth talker, but let's be real. The proof and the evidence and the information is only going to come out, and it's only going to bite him in the ass. You see what I'm saying? So you could be a smooth talker all you want. Look at what's going on. Look at what's going on with Trump. He's trying to smooth talk even with this war, and it keeps on blowing up in his face, literally and metaphorically speaking. He's trying to manipulate the market so things don't go completely belly up, right? Things don't go tits up and all that. He's doing everything he can to try to make it seem like everything's going America's way. And in actuality, everything is going haywire overseas. Haywire. Even his lies, even his BS is starting to come back and bite him right in the ass too. So again, you could be the smoothest talker in the history of smooth talking. Eventually, the evidence itself will come out and will show that that person is just straight up lying. We've already done the rhetoric. We've already done the trigger words and the manipulation of semantics. They do it all the time. They still do it to this day. And what do we see? We see it in real time, and we call it out now in real time because we've been in this relationship before. Okay? We've been in this relationship before, guys. Hey now, my boyfriend's back, right? We've been here before. So we know all the acts and the BS. We're already triggered. We already see the red flags. We're like, oh God, what the hell's going on? He's saying the same thing, even if not even worse. And we're calling them on their BS because we've been here, done that already. You see what I'm saying? But instead of the people that should actually be brought to justice and should be fired from their jobs, the other people, the other cards around the foundation of this house of cards are starting to fall down. She happens to be the next card that just got knocked down. But you know for a fact, there's a whole lot of other cards within this house of cards that should be going down. Seriously. We've been here before. No, this isn't deja vu. We gave this guy and this administration a second round. We gave them another chance. Please, baby, please, hold the speaker, okay? Like, say anything, right? Out there in the street, baby, I love you. Give me another chance. And we said, okay, come on back in. And they're doing it all over again. Except this time we know the movements. We know the words, and there's a lot of trigger words, guys. A lot of them.
Some new developments unfolding in just the past few moments, and we did want to share that with you. We also wanted to share the breaking news with you from Fox News. Attorney General Bondi met with President Trump in the Oval Office last night. This was ahead of his speech to the nation on the war in Iran, where she was reportedly informed of her ouster. That is according to two sources familiar with that meeting. And one of those sources said that by the time President Trump took his place behind the podium to speak to the nation, Bondi had already lost her job and was on her way back to Florida. So right now, President Trump reportedly considering replacing Bondi with EPA Director Lee Zeldin. That is according to sources familiar with that matter who spoke with Fox News Digital.
Now, let me just say this, okay? Pam Bondi, she gone. She gone, baby. And I don't know. Maybe, is she married? I don't even know if she's married, right? Hopefully it's not some weird S&M thing that they find out where you know, her husband's tied up and he's saying aardvark, you know what I'm saying, randomly or something like that. You know what I mean? He loves the you know, like hot wax on his nipples or something crazy. It's something crazy like that. Hopefully nothing unearths like that, because we ain't got, I don't know if I can mentally take that personally. I'm just saying, I just hope that there's nothing crazy that Trump found out and he's like, yo, we have got to get you going home, you know, because I don't know if I could take it. I'm just saying, we got balloon tiggle bitties, you know, lipstick wearing husbands. I don't know, you know, you never know. You just never know. Some of these Republicans be wilding out, baby. Damn, yo, wilding out. Jesus is the way, amen. And then your S&D down in the alley of a man you've just met on Grindr. It's just weird. Then you're back on TV, violently gesticulating at the camera, damning anybody who lives an alternative lifestyle that doesn't fit in the world of Republicans. It is the weirdest thing I've ever seen, but it's real. It's real. It's real. You got Kristi Noem killing puppies, okay, killing dogs. No big deal. While her husband is putting on lipstick and wearing boobies, talking to S workers. Talking about trying to make America great. I'm just saying, if she's into some wild stuff, I please God, please do not tell me. Okay, I do not have the mental capacity for it right now. Okay? Please and thank you. Have mercy. But here's the thing. We've been known that Pam Bondi was on her way out. It was only a matter of time. It was only a matter of time that she was chucking up the deuces and on her way out. When I found out about this, you know, like I said, I was in the middle of shopping, getting some stuff to make some pho. Okay. And I said it's fucking great. It's great. I'm happy about this. But I wasn't surprised. I was like, oh, yeah, it's about time. And literally in my head, I was like, yeah, it's about time. It's about time. Somebody has to go down for it. Somebody has to go down for it. It had to be her. Not in at all entirely surprised. But here's the thing. Pam Bondi did break her silence just a little bit ago. Right before I went live, she broke her silence. So she had some things to say. So let's take a journey down this article and find out what's going on. Shall we? So Pam Bondi finally broke her silence after being fired by President Trump in a late night White House showdown. So she said she would be working to transition the Attorney General office over the next month to help her deputy Todd Blanche before moving to an unspecified job in the private sector. So maybe she's just going to be running and getting maybe running and getting people's coffee. I don't know. I don't know what she's going to be doing. Like I said, I don't understand why she's being demoted and not just fired. She's been demoted. Same thing with Kristi Noem. Demoted. They've been pushed off to the side. They're not the heads of this thing anymore, but they're still a part of the Trump administration, which makes no sense. Why? Someone explain that, because it doesn't make sense to me. Moving on, she said this on X. She said, leading President Trump's historic and highly successful efforts to make America safer and more secure has been the honor of a lifetime and easily the most consequential first year of the DOJ in American history. She's just making things up. But moving on. Since February 2025, we have secured the lowest murder rate in 125 years, secured first ever terrorism convictions against members of Antifa, shattered domestic and transnational gangs across the country, taking custody of more than 90 key cartel figures, and won 24 favorable rulings at the Supreme Court. She also said that she will remain eternally grateful to Trump, despite being the second cabinet official fired by Trump in the last month. Her tenure at the DOJ was marred by months of MAGA fury over her botched handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. So the DOJ, or Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, will serve as the acting Attorney General until a permanent nominee is picked, which we already know. So she is out of the administration and is expected to transition into the private sector. Like I said, she's basically being shoved off into political purgatory. That's all it is. So she's still staying on the payroll. She's still able to, serve her country, right? But she's off in some private sector, which means she's like in some basement somewhere where there's still, cobwebs and stuff. She's still got to, blow the dust off the desk and everything, because that's the area where they send all the banished. She's literally been banished. But still, she's still there. Make that make sense? It's weird. What's going on? Why has she been banished? And not just completely terminated. You see what I'm saying? Seems weird to me. Seems definitely weird to me.
This is an ABC News special report.
Good afternoon. I'm Diane Macedo. We're coming on the air with breaking news. President Trump says Pam Bondi is out as U.S. Attorney General. The president made the announcement just moments ago on Truth Social. Sources tell ABC News the primary reason for her removal is President Trump's frustration that she's not been effective in prosecuting his political targets. Let's get right to our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott. Rachel, what's the latest here?
Well, the president just announced this on social media just moments ago. I want to read to you what the president is saying as he is announcing that Pam Bondi will no longer serve as Attorney General of the United States. He calls Pam Bondi a great patriot, saying that she has faithfully served as Attorney General over the past year, saying that she has done a tremendous job when it comes to a crackdown in crime. The president says that the administration loves Pam, but that she's going to be moving on to a new job in the private sector. He then adds that the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, will now be serving as the acting Attorney General of the United States. We have been hearing for days now and weeks, quite frankly, that the president and sources within the administration had been frustrated with Attorney General Pam Bondi over her handling of the Epstein files, but also over accusations that she was not going after the president's perceived political opponents hard enough, Diane. Now, when it comes to now Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who will be serving as the acting Attorney General, just last week he spoke at CPAC, a political conference, and he said to the people who say, why aren't you doing more? I welcome that criticism. Keep putting the pressure on. He's certainly responding to a lot of those accusations and showing that he'd be willing to go a step further, Diane.
You know what's interesting is that she is going down because she wanted to help a friend, it sounds like. That, of course, Trump has his sights out on Eric Swalwell, doesn't like him, and is sitting there going like, hey, I don't like that. We're trying to take every single Democrat down, and you don't want to help us out. I think that's just very weird. Of all things, she should have been fired because of other things. You feel me? She should have been fired for other reasons, not because of this. Epstein, for sure. All day. Okay? And absolutely, right? I'm just going to grab that now. It is illegal to weaponize the DOJ. And that's exactly what Trump has been doing. And that's the thing. Why does everybody get so, like, the hardcore Trumpers, the hardcore Trump supporters out there that are hardcore MAGA all day long? Why do they just completely deny the fact that he is definitely trying to weaponize the DOJ? Why do they always sit there and go, no, he's doing it within the Constitution? Like, no, he's breaking laws and he's doing certain things that he shouldn't be doing. And he's looking at the DOJ and other departments and going, these are my dogs. So I'm going to tell them to go sick this particular person. Find anything you can on this person or that person or whoever and take them down. I don't care what it is. It could be the most minute thing. Get them for that. Embarrass the hell out of them. Make sure that their lives are a living hell. Take them all out. That's what he does. That's Trump. And that's illegal. But no one listens. No one cares because they think that this man can do no wrong. And he's doing plenty wrong right now. He is.
Rachel, thank you. And I want to bring in ABC News Chief Washington correspondent John Carl for more on that. John, as Rachel mentioned, sources say the president was frustrated with ineffective prosecutions of his political rivals and also Bondi's handling of the Epstein files. What more are you hearing about why?
Look, in terms of the president himself, he was upset and he expressed some of this actually publicly, that Bondi hadn't more aggressively tried to prosecute his political enemies, which is really quite a statement, quite a fact when you consider that it was Bondi's Justice Department that brought indictments against James Comey, his former FBI director, and Letitia James, the Attorney General in New York, two of Trump's top political targets. Both those indictments were thrown out, though, and he also Trump had pushed for an investigation into Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve, and Bondi's Justice Department has opened a criminal investigation that most people have looked at and said there's nothing there, but nevertheless they have gone and issued subpoenas to the Fed under Jerome Powell. So she has made quite an effort to carry out his wishes at retribution against his political enemies, but not enough for the president.
Now, what's interesting is maybe this is exactly why. Maybe this is the exactly why he's putting her off to the side. Because there's too much information that she knows. Like somebody else just said in the chat that I highlighted. Maybe she knows too much. And he does not want another Joe Kent situation. Whereas she gets home, she has a few too many old fashions. She feels some type of way, and she's like, F him, F Trump. You have to do that to me. I was an important person. F this man. And forget it. I'm going to put it all in a text on X because he's my ex. Ex boss. Get it? And then she goes and she, types in less than, 150 characters into an X post saying something along the lines of, I don't know anything. There's so much more that I know. They were very good friends. And yes, he was accused of doing a lot of bad things with Littles alongside J.E. Anything. She could say anything. It's the same thing with Kristi Noem. Yeah, literally. Because you never know. Kristi Noem could have been trying to stay. It's kind of comical, but trying to stay as neutral as she possibly could without trying to get Trump in trouble, trying to protect him because of the information that now we already know, that her husband likes to wear ladies' clothing. You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second. And now that that's out, she's kind of free. Kristi Noem. Yes, she's blindsided. Oh my gosh, clutch my pearls. I can't believe my husband does that. What? When you know for a fact she's been known. Okay? But she acting. Please pray for us. Olivia Pope, scandal cry. I didn't know. She knew. She doing the Kerry Washington cry. You know what I'm saying? You know I love Kerry Washington. She's amazing. She's a beautiful woman, but she's an ugly crier. Same thing with Claire Danes. You know what I mean? It's It's weird. It's terrible. But she doing that ugly cry, and you know for a fact she acting. Because you know for a fact she knew her husband like wearing. He gets excited when he sees balloons. I'm sorry. He gets excited when he goes to a birthday party. He sees balloons. He's like, ooh, oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? He gets real excited. He's like, oh, no, I can't. We're around kids. No, we're not home. Oh, I was just about to call Susie. You know what I'm saying? But maybe she's free now because she doesn't have that information holding her back. Maybe he had that information like, listen, I know your husband likes wearing women clothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to put you over here. Keep your mouth shut. But she don't need to do that anymore. You know? Think about that for a second. What if Pam Bondi's the same mother-loving situation? I mean, we're all ugly criers. Paula, come on now. Come on, we're all ugly criers. Who have you ever seen where you're like, oh my God, that is the most beautiful crier I've ever seen? No one. Everyone's an ugly crier. Everyone. Okay? Just some are a little bit more pronounced than others. But back to Pam. He kicked her out like Pam. Let's talk about this. Because again, like I said, think about it. What are the chances of her actually being moved aside to, being banished, to this private sector solely so that she can keep her mouth shut on very incriminating information about Trumpy poo? I'm just saying, think about that. Think about that. Sorry. It tickles me sometimes. Sorry. Christy Noem's husband going to a birthday party and seeing the balloons going, oh, no, oh. Sorry, that still killed me. But anyway, let's continue on. Let's see what's going on here.
And in terms of the handling of the Epstein files, this has really been a frustration throughout the administration. Many people in the president's inner circle just unhappy with how she has handled it, thinking that it's been a PR disaster, including her recent testimony on Capitol Hill. So those are the key factors. But here's the thing, Diana, I have to say that if Pam Bondi lost her job because of insufficiently carrying out the president's wishes on these matters, it is hard to imagine that there would be another attorney general who would be more fiercely and personally loyal to Donald Trump than Pam Bondi. We see now, as you heard Rachel report, that Todd Blanche, the current deputy attorney general, will now be the acting attorney general. Now, Blanche is somebody who, of course, is the president's former personal defense attorney, has shown quite a bit of loyalty, but it's unclear what he would be able to carry out that Pam Bondi has not been able to carry out in terms of these politically charged cases against the president's enemies.
And on that note, let's bring in Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas. Pierre, what does this mean for the Justice Department now?
Well, let me just say this, Diane, from the outset, having covered that building now going on 25 plus years, there has never been an attorney general from my time of covering as close to a president as Pam Bondi was to President Trump. If you go outside of the Justice Department, you'll see a huge sign with President Trump's likeness, his photograph draped over the DOJ. So, as John put it, there's no question about loyalty. The execution of some of these cases against former FBI Director James Comey, the execution of the case against New York Attorney General Letitia James, both have failed to result in any kind of meaningful prosecution. They're both still being litigated. But again, the Epstein files and how that has unfolded with some of the missteps, according to her critics, by Pam Bondi, obviously played a key role. This notion of her being removed has been out there from time to time, but she has a great personal relationship, as far as we know, with the president. But clearly, in terms of the things that he wanted to have happen that were critical to him, they did not happen. In terms of DOJ, Todd Blanche, the acting attorney general, is a person who has played a key role in the DAG position, Deputy Attorney General. They essentially run the building on a day-to-day basis in terms of major cases. So there will be a relatively smooth transition in that regard. But there are major issues that the Justice Department has to confront, and now there will be for Todd Blanche to deal with, as well as the politics.
Very interesting stuff, guys. I mean, again, like I said, Pam Bondi being out, I am very happy about that. That's very good news, in my personal opinion. But it doesn't change anything. At the end of the day, this only means that there's going to be somebody else that's going to be taking her job that's willing to bend at Trump's will. Let's not forget that. Any person that's willing to say yes to him and be a step and fetch it boy or girl, they're going to get the job. If they're willing to lie, cheat, and bend as many rules as they can, and if not steal for Trump, they're going to be the best person for the job, because that's what Trump wants. Like Ride said earlier, he is weaponizing the DOJ for his own benefit. And that's illegal. It's wrong, and it's illegal. But again, we're going to see what happens. We'll see what transpires from that moment. Now, I got another quick story for you guys, and I think this is absolutely crazy. I haven't mentioned or talked about Matt Gaetz in a while. Yeah. I haven't talked about Matt Gaetz in a while. And this was posted and reported on April 1st. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. But apparently, Matt Gaetz was briefed about an alien breeding program that involved humans, but apparently it was illegal aliens breeding with actual aliens. Yeah. And this is information that he heard about when he was in office. There's a video about this too. This is insane. This is insane. Take a look at this. So his initial, of course, Trump's initial pick to become the U.S. Attorney General, Matt Gaetz, has claimed that he was briefed on a secret alien breeding program while in office. Gaetz, a former representative, said he was told that human or alien/human hybrids are being created to enable government officials to communicate with beings from other worlds. I heard about this and I was like, I ain't got time for this. But apparently he was talking to Benny Johnson. So he was speaking on Benny Johnson's show with speaking on Benny Johnson with the prominent right-wing influencer Benny Johnson, of course, the Benny Show. Yesterday, the ex-lawmaker revealed that he received the information at his office in Florida in a quote-unquote non-classified setting. I had someone come and brief me who was in the military uniform, worked with the U.S. Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the U.S. Army briefed me on that. According to Gaetz, who incidentally did not represent the Jupiter community during his time in Congress, members of his staff were present at the meeting with the senior enlisted service member. Gaetz went on to claim that the humans involved in the military program had been abducted from war zones and the caravans of migrants. According to Gaetz, he was told that there were 6 to 12 facilities involved in the scheme. However, he conceded he did not verify the whistleblower's claims. And the as yet unnamed service member told Gaetz that he wanted members of Congress to appear at the facilities so that the alleged contents could not be moved. He previously made headlines. We already know about this because he's a dirty, dirty boy. All right. He, of course, withdrew himself because of allegations of him having relations with a minor. But again, something very interesting about this, right? Now, here's what's interesting, okay? Here's something that's interesting. There have been a lot of conversations recently about a different type of blood type out here. You know, you got like A positive, you got AB, you got O, you got O negative, you got all these different types of blood types. But apparently there's a small percentage of the world that has a very specific and very rare blood type. And a lot of people believe that, or there's a lot of things being said that there are that is like alien, like a hybrid alien blood type. Now, hold on. Trust me. I'm not sitting here. I know we just did a hard left turn. Okay. Hello. We just did a hard left turn. Some of y'all are like, wait, what? So yeah, I don't know about lizard people. I don't know. I'm just reading what I saw in an article to you guys, and I'm trying to understand it too. Okay. But they are basically saying that there's a small percentage. Yes, RH negative. Thank you, Pam. Pam. Okay. Yeah, an RH negative, right? Apparently there's a small percentage of people that actually have it. It's very rare, right? And some are saying that particular blood type could very well be a hybrid of alien/human hybrid. Yeah, I know it's weird. I know it's weird. But at the same time, there are a lot of people that are talking about this stuff. And okay, let me just pull up. Let me pull up Benny's show. With Matt Gaetz, if I can find it. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. In fact, we're going to go to the Hill. Check it out.
Former Congressman Matt Gaetz says he was briefed on a secret alien breeding program while in office. Gaetz.
Let me just say this really quick. Is this April Fool's? Is this an April Fool's joke? I don't think it is. Because you got other representatives that are actually speaking out about this too and saying, yo, there's information about this that's absolutely insane. Now, let me just also point this out too. We already know that aliens do exist. We've heard from multitudes of people saying that aliens do exist. Multitude. Trump was to, I don't know if, did he ever release the files? Because apparently he was supposed to release all these files about aliens. I'm telling you right now, aliens do exist. It'd be very selfish and ignorant of us to assume that aliens don't exist. They do. But hybrids, making them bump uglies or trying to impregnate, that is wild. That is just wild. That is just wild.
Who was President Trump's initial pick to become Attorney General, sat down with podcaster Benny Johnson on Tuesday. Let's listen.
I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication.
Whoa. Gaetz added.
Yo, come on now. That is wild. Now, this happened on April Fool's Day. They had this whole conversation. Okay? Could this very well be a joke? I wouldn't be surprised though. I'm gonna keep it real.
That humans who were involved were allegedly abducted from war zones. He said, quote, what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones, from even the caravans of migrants.
Gaetz also confirmed that the U.S. military is in possession of alien technology. I'm not sure I would use the word confirmed, has reverse engineered that technology as well. Wow. Congressman Tim Burchett gave an interview of his own yesterday, responding to Gaetz' suggestions on aliens. Let's watch.
I need to show you what I'm talking about. So again, I was going to show you this clip with Tim Burchett, Dadgummit, the guy who I learned Dadgummit from. Okay. He talks about like, oh yeah, there's alien bases deep in the ocean. There are definitely, he's like, there's a good possibility that there are aliens deep in the ocean. There are alien bases deep in the ocean, so on and so forth. Again, this is all coming from him. Like these are all elected officials saying this stuff. So just because it was told on April Fool's doesn't automatically mean that's an April Fool's thing.
If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up. You'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. It would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard. They would demand answers.
And that's coming from Tim Burchett. There, gummit, saying, yo, there's information and things that I have seen that would unglue this country alone. That things that keep him up at night.
I'm not going to let you dismiss this because somebody who was in Congress and of power saying these things, that people in vulnerable communities were getting abducted for testing on anything that has to do with aliens or some species, like That's a little bit of a huge accusation. I think we shouldn't just skip over it unless you just think this man's a pathological liar.
He is a pathological liar. That's for sure. It's Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is Matt Gaetz. He be Matt Gaetzin. So he could just be Matt Gaetzin right now. But on some real stuff,
I don't understand why we would just pretend like that's not huge. Even as I read the tease, our whole control room was like, excuse me?
yeah.
I think you're all being very gullible.
So he's just a pathological liar. That's what you're saying. It doesn't.
I think he's also very gullible.
No, I think there's secrecy around UFOs, UAVs in our government. There is.
He was briefed on this. Someone told him.
Right.
Who? Tell us. Who? I want to talk to that
We
person.
can leak classified information then maybe. Look at the screen. We show these over and over again. I mean, there's been
Keep showing me this black dot.
She said, look at the screen, damn it. Look at the motherfucking screen.
That I don't know what this means.
Okay, so why are we tracking thousands of videos like this if nothing exists? What is that then, Robbie? A falcon? Explain what that is. And the alien
burden
human
is not
hybrid thing.
On me to explain what it is. It is on you to prove that it's an alien.
Right, but an alien human hybrid theory has come up before. And it's the first time that somebody who used to be in
People
Congress
being
is discussing
abducted
this.
from war zones. This is all a lot. And for me to accept it, I need more than I know a guy who told me something. I can't tell you who he is. I can't provide any of the evidence for that. You don't ever get tired of this, of just being told that there's some hidden bunker somewhere where they have all that information, but we can't tell you where it is?
I watched that Joe Rogan episode with the guy who used to work at Area 51.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used to be like you, Robbie, and I'm sorry. You're gullible. Oh, Bob Lazar. And I used to feel like everyone's gullible. But then when he told me extreme, very detailed information and they sat and talked to Joe Rogan for 3 hours, I was like, everybody's crazy except for the government? I'm supposed to just trust what the government says? I mean, historically, there's been examples.
What the government says right now. Matt Gaetz and Tim Burchett are the government.
No, he's former government. So he has the inkling.
In the government, he's saying, if you saw the things I saw, what are those things? Can I see them? Why can't I see them?
Maybe because they're classified.
Just okay. This idea that if you have evidence of aliens and you're not sharing that, why are you're going to be the guy who proved aliens? You'll be set for life.
Well, Bob Lazar said that his life was made to be hellish when he started saying what he saw and had experiences on Joe Rogan. So maybe they don't want to live that life.
Likely desperate, ticked off, embittered former employees of NASA or the State Department or whatever it is, the Energy Department, conjured up in their heads some kind of grievance narrative about what happened to them, or they're being silenced.
So you don't think the government has ever suppressed any information? I just want to know.
I mean, it sounds to me like this guy, the guy in the blue jacket, doesn't believe that aliens actually exist, period. But there's been countless pieces of information out there showing that aliens do exist. There's obviously also UFOs, etc. So many other things you got to keep. You have to put into consideration here. So I think I think it's very ignorant for him to instantly just be like, nah, I don't believe it, not once, But I agree. Coming from the source like Matt Gaetz, nah, I don't believe that part because it sounds insane to me. And it sounds like, to me, this is somebody who is just making stuff up for the sake of making things up. But as far as what Tim Burchett has said, yeah, I think what he was saying is true. He has already held so many congressional hearings about this stuff, trying to unearth and understand these UFO sightings and, these possible interactions with this otherworldly kind. Those things I think are real. Yes, I agree. Twizzle stick. I feel like everyone should question everything and see what's really going on. But hybrid breeding programs, I mean, it does sound insane. It does sound absolutely insane, but I wouldn't put it past our world. Look at the Epstein files. Look at all the Epstein file information that has come out. All of that stuff that we've learned. We thought a lot of it couldn't be real, and it was. We already have other presidents, by the way, former presidents already saying, yeah, aliens do exist. They're real. They exist. Here's, and now Trump is like, we're going to give out all the information. We're going to release the files so that you guys can see for yourself about the existence of aliens. I truly believe that aliens do exist. Do they keep coming back to this world? I don't think so. But at the same time, they are coming in. They here. They've been here. Maybe not today, maybe not yesterday, but they've been here at some point. That's what I truly think. But as far as this whole like bumping uglies with nanu, like, I don't know. I don't see that being real. But also at the same time, I could also see it being real. You see what I'm saying? Countless people go missing all the time. Countless. What are the chances? Some wild allegations out there. But I don't like the source. That's my problem. I don't like who's saying it. It's Matt Gaetz with his plastic looking face. Okay, having too much Botox and face filler and face liftings ish going on in his face with his lying ass face. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. So coming from that source, I'm not a fan, right? Right. Thank you so much for the love. Blanche filling Bondi's spot is disgusting. Yeah, it doesn't make the situation any better. Okay. I hear it's temporary, but still, yes, it is temporary. He was Trump's personal lawyer that got Maxwell Cushy prison. Yes, that's true. Bye, Pam. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, that's the one reason why I'm like, I'm not a big fan of Todd Blanche taking over, but it is temporary. And then we got to see who actually ends up taking over the spot. And whoever does end up taking the spot, then we got to watch them with every fiber of our being and side eye everything they say, because the entire administration is completely corrupt, in my personal opinion. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for the love. The Pascalis love the long lives on Fridays. Well, there may be a long live on Friday. Today's Thursday, but Friday, we will, you just never know. You just never know. All right. Thank you so much, though. Right. Thank you so much for the 2 super chats here. So Caroline, next, please. Yeah. I don't think she's ever going to be let go. I don't think in Trump's mind she could do no wrong. And honestly, she hasn't really done anything bad yet in his mind. Remember that. All she's doing is reciting whatever the administration is telling her to say. So she's lying. She's lying, but at the same time, she's lying on behalf of them. Understand that, right? She's not running any big department or protecting this country or anything of that sort, She's just a reporter, for lack of a better term, It's interesting. But let's move on. Right again. Lee is, I already said this before. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Stall tactic. The interim attorney general will now ask for more time so he can go through the epi files, and he will stall till after the midterms. Just watch. That'll be very interesting. She is also supposed to be going in front of a congressional hearing mid-April. So very, very soon, she's supposed to be sitting in front of the world again, going under oath and having to testify. So it'll be interesting if that has any, it'll be interesting what happens with that, right? With that situation, and why he ended up firing her now and not firing her after the hearing was done, right? Yeah, and that's supposed to be happening on April 14th. So that's interesting. Right, the guy, thank you so much for the love. If we've learned anything in the last few days, even if you kiss the ring, once Trump says he's done with you, it's off into exile you go. That is very, very true. Very true. It's purgatory. It's political purgatory is what she's been put to. Same with Same with Christine Noem. Put into purgatory, and that's it. Very interesting. Angelina, thank you so much for the love. I got to know, does she fly coach? Probably not. Probably not. She's probably flying first class all the time. Trust. Not this administration. Ryan, thank you so much for the love. She honestly looks 40, not 60. And 40 though. Yeah. 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 I am your mom 421. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate the support. And just like I am your mom, please consider becoming a member by hitting that join button down below. Please and thank you. Rod, thank you so much. It's illegal to weaponize. Oh, we already read that one too. Yes, it is. Very much so. Thank you so very much for that info. Melmar, thank you so much for the love. PB is going to the private sector, non-government job, which means she has been fired. They just aren't saying the words, but she's out of the government. Yeah, she has been put out. She is out. But like I said, she's kind of being put into purgatory because he still wants to keep her attached. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. It's not like he's like, you're fired. Get out of my face. He's not doing that. He's not doing that. He's like, you're fired, and then I want you to stay here with us, though. Stick around. I like you here. It's weird. It's weird. And I wonder why. General Genobi, what's up? Thank you so much for the love. Hey, Hegseth want the army chief to stand to resign immediately. Hegseth wants the army chief to stand to resign immediately. I don't know what that means, but that's interesting. That I guess he wants the army chief to resign immediately. I wonder why. That's interesting. I wonder why. That's very interesting. Black Lake, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Sean Ryan had a Marine on that said he was deployed. When he was deployed, he saw an elite group of men guarding an aircraft that were loading humans onto. What? I wouldn't be like, here's the thing. I'm not surprised about that. I'm not surprised about that. Oh, Genobi, I get that. I get that now. So he wants the Army Chief of Staff to resign. That is interesting. Why? Oh, he wants the Chief of Staff to leave so that he could switch that person out for someone who could be more loyal? Ay. That's not good. Black Lake, thanks so much for the love. There's many military stories about UFOs and aliens happening overseas. I had a ghostly experience in Iraq, but no aliens, LOL. I mean, people have said, I've heard so many different stories about, about that. And that's just insane in my personal opinion. T Holly, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the super sticker. So yeah, that is some very interesting stuff. And I've heard all kinds of different stories about people being deployed, sent, overseas or sent to different areas and experiencing things that they can't even fully explain, in its entirety. Just wild things that they could never really truly even describe into words. And I think that's wild. I think that's wild, man. I really, really do. But guys, I got to wrap up the show. I got to get going here, but I told you guys it would be a shorter show than usual today. And so it is. But of course, I will try to get back on a little bit later on this evening if something's popping off, because honestly, there is a huge interview with a source involved in the Nancy Guthrie case that apparently is about to just blow the lid off of Pima County Sheriff's Department in its entirety. And so Brian Enton had an exclusive interview with that particular person. That's supposed to air tonight. So either we'll watch it late tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. So just get ready for that, because that is going to be I think a very big show. And obviously, Thanos Nanos, he's just trash. We already know that too. But that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Make sure you hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. Subscribe here to my YouTube channel. I can't tell you guys enough. Make sure you're subscribed. We talk about a lot of things on this show. Everything from true crime, to pop culture, to political, and all that muck in between. We talk about it all here. So make sure you are subscribed, okay? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, so go check it out, PascalMerch.com. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. We'll be talking here very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.